friends. Welcome to our Panda Paint Night with me, Miss Liz, one of your librarians here at the South Huntington Public Library. Now, we are doing this paint night because today is a very special day. Did you know that March 16th is actually National Panda Day? Well, now you do. And I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate our little cute friends than with a paint night to honor their likeness. So if you registered for this program through the South Huntington Public Library and you made your way down and grabbed your make and take bag, then you are all set and ready for this program. If you are following along at home or weren't registered or want to know some supplies that you need, I'm going to put them on the screen following my intro, so you can feel free to pause it and grab what you need. Full disclaimer, because tonight is a paint night, things can get messy. So I highly recommend that you do not wear your nicest, fanciest clothes. Even though it's Panda Day and we want to celebrate pandas, that doesn't mean our outfits have to. So make sure you're wearing something that you don't really care if it gets paint on you. Also, make sure that you are in a clean area that you can paint on. If you're using a kitchen table or a kitchen counter, maybe put down some old newspaper, magazines, wrapping paper, paper towels, whatever you got, and paint on top of those. Just because things might get a little messy, especially when you're dealing with paint. We don't want to get anything on, anything important that might stain or not come off. So if you are ready to get started, grab your make and take kits, or if you're following at home, grab the stuff on the next screen, and then let's get ready to party with some pandas. So once you are ready to get started painting, the first thing we're going to want to do for our panda painting is prep our canvas. And what this means is we're going to take our canvas, we're going to get it a little wet using some water, and you're just going to put some water on the canvas. And the reason why we're putting water on our canvas is that this water allows the fibers in the fabric to open up and receive the paint easier. So you just want to get it a little wet. It doesn't have to be soaking wet, just so that we can paint smoother and better. So just do nice even strokes in straight lines. They could be sideways or up and down, whatever you prefer, but once you start going in a direction, stay in that direction. And then just let it dry for a few seconds. Then what we're going to do next is you're going to find that off-white paint that's in one of those containers in your grab and go kit. And we are going to start painting the outline of our panda. So you can use your paint in the cups as they came in your make and take bag, but I am going to use a napkin just because that's what I have in front of me. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this brush, the big fat round brush, we're going to dip it in our paint, and we're going to make a nice oval for the panda's head. A nice oval. So I know it's a little hard to see because it's off-white on white, but your oval should be nice and round. Once you have your oval for the panda's head on your canvas, you're then going to take your brush and keep using that white, and we're going to make his belly. So it's going to be the same shape, but just rounder down here. I like a nice big fat panda, but yours can be whatever you want him to look like. So right now your canvas should look like this. Again, I know it's hard to see. I'm really sorry with the off-white paint. But you should have one big circle for your panda's head right here and one round circle for your panda's belly right down here. Then we're going to go in with our black paint. Once again, you have them in the make and take bags, but mine is over here like this. Then what I like to do is I like to take the smaller brush like this one. You're going to wipe it off, make sure there's no excess water on it. Dip it in that black paint. And now I like to trace out my panda's features before I start coloring in. So we're going to start with 2 half circles for his little ears. So that's 1 half circle. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side for his other ear. Don't worry if this part isn't perfect. That's why we're just outlining it. We can always go in and color it better if we need to change the shape of it a little bit. So just take your time and sketch slowly with this step. Then we're going to trace out his arms. So they're going to look like big U's. So I'm going to do 1 U here. And I'm going to do another U over here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these 2 U's following the line of our panda's tummy and his head to make his arms. So I'm going to go across like this. And then lastly, we're going to give him some feet. So you're going to draw little boxes all the way at the bottom of his tummy. So this is what the outline of our panda should look like. Now we're going to go in with our black and we're going to start coloring him in. So I'm going to start with the ears up here and color those in. So if you get a little paint splatter in your panda like I just did, that's okay. You can either take the paintbrush or take your finger. That's my favorite method. And I just like to blot some paint over it just to kind of cover it up. And just like that, it goes away. Just make sure to do it very sparingly and just blot it a little bit. And that'll help you out. Once you have your panda all colored in, you can now take that same small brush we've been using and go in and clean it up so that your panda looks the way you want. So like mine, for example, these ears are a little different shaped and I want them to kind of be similar. So I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger so it matches, and then I'm going to kind of cut across his body a little bit more. But make your panda however you want to look, and then we will continue. Once you've gone in and your panda is the shape you want, we can go in and add in some eyeballs. So you can keep that small little brush we've been using to give him some eyes. So I'm going to give him one nice oval over here. And I'm going to give him another nice oval over here. So if you want to go careful while you're doing this because you don't want to mess up with the black dye, you can start by making some U's on his face and then just kind of connecting a circle like that. Then we're going to color them in. Make sure to leave a little bit of it white for his iris. If you mess up like I did, that's okay. You can color them all black and we can go in with our white paint once it's dry. So that's what I'm going to do because I'm going to like that better. I'm just going to make 2 black circles on his face. Then we're going to give him a nice nose. So you're going to start down here with a little tiny circle. Just like that. And we're going to give him a nice W for a mouth. So you're going to start over here, make a nice W, and then you can attach it just like that. Then once you're done with your black paint, you can take that water cup and you can clean off your brush. Make sure it is nice and clean. Take a paper towel, run it through like this, just to make sure there's no black paint left on it. Your towel should be clean. Just like that. And then I'm going to take a little bit of white and I'm going to give him his little iris. If your paint is super wet right now, like mine, this might not have been the best idea. You can hold off. This can be your last step. But you can try to make it work if you want. I should have waited. Then what we're going to do is you should have in your grab and go a paint cup that has red and white paint mixed together. This is going to be so that we can make the pink for our little panda's cheeks. So you can feel free to make it as light or as dark as you want. Those colors are sitting on top of each other in your box. So you can just pick up what you want and make a nice pink color. So you're going to stir them together using whatever brush you'd like. And you're going to give him some nice pink cheeks. And they're just going to be little circles underneath his eyes. So you do one little circle. And then another little circle. I'm just going to turn him around for a second so I can see him. He's got some pink cheeks. This step's entirely optional. You don't have to give him pink cheeks if you don't want. I think they're cute, so I like them. Just like that. Then our last step is going to be to take that green paint that's in your make and take box. We're going to use that. And this is going to be what we use to paint our background. So for this one, I'm going to use that big fat brush that we had. Going to make sure it's nice and dry. We don't want it to have any water in it. So just take a paper towel and kind of squeeze all the water out. Just like this. We're going to take that green and we're going to paint all around our panda. So for this step, definitely take your time, go slow and steady. And you're just going to paint around him and paint the whole background green. Just like this. If it looks like your paint is watery, just take your paper towel and dab it again. Could just be extra moisture that's in there. And just keep it going. Once your background is all painted, you now have the option, because you're working with a canvas, to decide if you want to paint the sides or not. Some people like to leave them white. Some people like to paint them green, which is what I'm going to do. But this is entirely up to you. It depends on how you want it to look on your wall. So you can just kind of lift it and paint those sides really fast. And that'll get rid of the white corners for you. Now comes the hardest part. We have to wait for our painting to dry before we go on to the next step. So for this, you have two options. You can let it rest overnight and totally and completely dry, or if your grown-up has a blow dryer that they're willing to let you to use, you can also blow dry your painting dry so that we can go in and do our final steps. So I am going to go grab my blow dryer because I want to finish this video for you all at home, and then I will tell you how we finish this project. If you're going to go the hairdryer route, which is what I'm about to do, you want to make sure that you are putting your hairdryer on the coolest setting possible. We don't want to burn our painting by making it too hot. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of go over your painting in small, even strokes. This is just to make sure that you're drying the paint. You will know that it's working because your paint will go from shiny and wet looking to kind of dry and matte looking. So you can do this for about 2 minutes. Turn your blow dryer off and kind of like assess if it's still wet. You'll know if it's wet when the paint comes off on your hands, and then you can blow dry it again, or it might be done and you'll be good to go on to our next step. So I'm going to start drying mine here. You can dry yours at home, or if you're waiting to let it dry naturally on its own, that's fine too. It's just going to take a little bit longer, but do whatever you got to do. Once your painting is dry to your liking, this is the time that I like to go in and fix up any mistakes that there might be. So, can't really see it, but he's got a little bit of green on his paw. He's got some black on his head up here. So I'm going to go in with my paint and kind of fix it up and then use my blow dryer to re-dry it. And then we're going to give it our last detail steps. So if you like the way yours looks and you think it's perfect, feel free to skip over this part. If you want to touch it up, now is your time to do just that. Once your painting is entirely to your liking, our second to last step is completely optional. This is entirely up to you. This is an artistic style choice. I like when stuff is outlined in thick black lines, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a marker and I'm going to outline my whole painting. It's just something I prefer. If you want to do that, feel free. To me, it makes it look like more like a cartoon, but if you like yours just the way it is, you don't have to touch it. So I am really just going around the whole panda. Just to kind of give him some definition. Now, after it's outlined, if you wanted to outline it, if you didn't, that's fine. You're going to take that small brush one more time. Make sure that it's nice and clean from your water cup. Squeeze all of the water out of it. You're going to take a paint color of your choosing. I'm going to use this pink red that we had. And like any good artist, I need you all at home to sign your work. So you're going to pick whatever corner you want it to be in. You can sign him, whatever you want, and you're just going to write your initials however you would like. Just like that. And once it is signed, your panda is officially done. Now, if you are hanging this up anywhere in your house, even though we use the blow dryer to dry it, I do recommend that you give it at least 24 hours before you hang it anywhere, because there might be some wet paint hanging around. But once you are done, feel free to hang it up and enjoy your panda painting. Thank you all so much for joining me for tonight's panda paint night. I hope you had as much fun as I did creating your new piece of artwork that you can hang in your room to show everyone. If you made this along at home with me and want to share your pictures, I would love to see your pandas that you created at home. Feel free to send me an email at the email address below with you and your picture, or just your picture, whatever you'd like, and show me those art skills that I know you all have. Once again, thank you all so much for joining me for today, and I cannot wait to see you all soon. We here at the South Huntington Public Library miss you all so much. I hope you have a great night, and I hope you had fun celebrating pandas. Take care. Bye.